Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be building a New Orleans inspired shotgun style home in the world of Willow Creek. But before we get started, please click the subscribe button so that we can become friends. And feel free to chat with me about anything in the comment section below, and thank you for stopping by. So like I said, we're building this in the world of Willow Creek on the 20 by 15 lot, the Crick Cabana lot. This house is going to be a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom home, and I am imagining this to be for a older couple, perhaps empty nesters, or maybe they never had kids, or just an older couple. Also, if you are not familiar with the term shotgun house, it's usually a long, narrow, rectangular shaped home where the rooms are in a straight line. Um, the doors are typically lined up with like this long hallway, and that's where the shotgun part comes in at. So ideally, if you're standing at the front door, you can shoot a gun and then the bullet will travel right out of the back door without hitting anything. But this one, I'm gonna call it a modified shotgun style home just because our back door is actually on the side of the house. So this week I just decided to take a small break from my Newcrest series or building Newcrest series. Um, and for whatever reason, shotgun homes were showing up all over my Pinterest homepage. So I decided to build one today. Um, so yeah, before we get any further into the build, I wanted to go ahead and check in with all of my friends and see how everyone is doing today. I hope you had a great week. I hope you have a great week because this video is posted on a Monday. And just how was your weekend? Mine was pretty good. My weekend was pretty good because I didn't have to work this weekend and we didn't have any sports going on, so I had a pretty chill weekend. I was able to um, do a lot of planning for my, everyone's calling it a forever save, but I guess that's really what it is. I did a lot of planning for my forever save. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I created this spreadsheet with all the lots. Then that way I can write down my ideas for the homes and for the Sims that I want to make these builds for. And I'm not going to be building everything in this save. I'm actually going to it's going to be like curated. So I'm going to have visions for the world and I'm going to get things off of the gallery. I'm not the first person to do this. I've seen, is her name Miss Lollipop Sims or Miss Jollipop Sims? I don't know what name it is. I've seen her do it recently. And, actually, Large Tater Tots or Tay, she is the one who like really made me want to do it because her Brindleton Bay looks amazing. So I'm like, I want to do that for myself. But anyway, enough rambling. The floor plan has already come together. The shell has already come together. I've already laid out the kitchen and we're moving on to furnish the living room. So I didn't stop and do a steal of the floor plan or anything, but the first room is going to be the living room with a small dining area. As you can see, the second little room is the kitchen. Then we have the bathroom and a small hallway, and then we have the bedroom at the very back of the home. So yeah, here I am just deciding between what sofas I wanted to use. Um, I don't think I used too many packs, but the packs I used the most were paranormal stuff pack and cottage living. I think this wallpaper here is from Decor to the Max. Um, but yeah, those are like the bigger or the packs that I use the most items from. I know that I did use some little minor packs here and there, but hopefully it won't be, it's not too many packs to where you can't download it. And speaking of, it's not a starter. The price is 41,151 simoleons. So yeah, you probably have to either have a little bit of money saved or use free real estate like I do to move your Sims in if you're playing a fresh game. So yeah, here I am just trying to find room for a coffee table in here. The living room was kind of small. I wanted it to look lived in, but not too cluttered. And then, like I said, I was just all over the place. Typically, I like map out the builds before I get started, but this time I was just like, it's a shotgun home. It shouldn't be too hard. Um, so I just jumped right in, like with no plan. But I ended up using some of the base game cabinets to create like this entertainment or this faux entertainment center. And I really liked the way that it turned out. And here I had the hardest time trying to find a side table or an end table, whatever you want to call it. I think I left all of that in so you can see how many options I actually went through before I finally decided on something. But it's like the space was so small, I just didn't know what to do, but I knew that I wanted to add a table there. I think this is the one we're going to end on, but I may go in and change it a couple more times. Can't really remember. And then finding a rug was also really hard. The first one that I had down there was from the Cozy Gamer kit, which I probably should have left that one, but I was trying to do something different because I tend to always, okay, if I'm using green, everything in the house has to be green. But I don't want to do that this time. I'm trying to like improve my skills. It's the whole point of me putting out these videos to see, where I started and how far I improved over a certain period of time. But anywho, like I said, went through that. I'm going to eventually change this couch and then we're going to use this one. Is it from Growing Together? I think this is from Growing Together. And here I am again changing the side tables 30 million more times. Like I said, I left all that in. Then I just put it up and I'm like, okay, let's try on a smaller couch so that, the end table doesn't look that bad. But I'm going to go right back to the same couch that we had. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep this rug the same, but we're going to leave that for now and we're going to move on to decorating our entertainment center. Of course, I have to put a radio in all my builds. So I'm using this radio that we got from as a reward from one of the events. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was the blast from the past one. I don't know. Can't remember. But anyway, it's just putting some different flowers on here. I'm going to find a little bunny rabbit. We're going to lower that down. But he's floating. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my dream home decorator shelf so that we can place him where we want him to be. And then I believe we're going to get some books here because there isn't really any skill building anything in this house. I don't think, because I kind of forgot about that. But it's okay. Also going through trying to find some clutter for our end table as well as our entryway table. I love the idea of putting shoes by the door, so that's something that I do in all my builds. And then we're going to be looking for some artwork. I'm gonna go with, I really liked that from, I think it's from Decor to the Max, but I saw this from the Bella Goth kit, so that's what we're gonna land on, as well as one of those base game paintings over there by the table. Also doing curtains. I can't speak. I'm gonna get some curtains. We're gonna go with the base game ones that are, I really wanted to use those, but they were too bulky and they were clipping with our entertainment center. But we're going to go to these ones right here. I really like the way they look and it kind of gives the illusion that you can, pull them shut in front of the window. They're just drawn back right now. I'm going through and I'm going to change out the overhead lighting to some chandeliers from Cottage Living. And then I also decided to swap out the entryway table for this one from the base game, as well as cluttering it with some of the items from the Grange mudroom kit. So yeah, I did use a few kits, but it's not too many items from each, so that if you don't have it, you'll only be missing like a few pieces to where you can just replace them with something that you do have. Or in my opinion, if you don't have them, say for instance the Grange mudroom kit, I only used a couple pieces just as like some fillers. So if you don't have them, it's not going to make a big difference. Okay, so I did also use the numberings from Love Struck, as well as a wreath from, I want to say this is from Seasons. Um, no, that the one that I ended up going with was from Cottage Living. But I thought about switching it out for a Seasons one because I thought about making this an autumnal build, but I didn't. So yeah, moving on to the kitchen area. I noticed the fridge was clipping and I was gonna ignore it, but I'm like, I know the fridges in this game are different heights, so let me just try to find one that will not clip with the cabinet. So I ended up going with this base game one here. So that prompted me to change the stove as well. And then I also wanted a window in here, and I thought the plates in the corner pieces were overkill, so I just replaced those with the two regular cabinets. And then we're gonna go through 1,000,001 curtains trying to find something to kind of cover the wall before I decide on not using anything to cover them. So here I'm filtering through because I know that there's like some small ones in certain packs, but again, I wasn't trying to use too many packs. So I just kind of left it blank. Um, so now we're just going through again, finding some things to clutter our countertops with. I liked this little bunny here as well. I thought about moving it in the living room, on our entertainment center, but I'm like, no, we can leave him in the kitchen. So right now I'm just pulling things from the catalog that I know I want to use, and then I'm just going to go ahead and go in there and alt place them. Now I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of forgot that I didn't have any tile on the wall until about this point. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and finish our cluttering, and then I'll go ahead and pick the tile, which that took forever as well. So here we are. I thought about using this one, but I was like, yeah, no, I didn't really like that. Um, I sit with this one from Home Chef Hustle for a minute, but I'm going to go with one from, I want to say it's from the Spellcaster's kit, Realm of Magic. I think is the one I land on. But we took away the coffee maker and we're going to put a hot cocoa maker as well as a stand mixer, because I was trying to justify using the Home Chef Hustle, the Home Chef Hustle tile. But like I said, I'm going to take that tile away, but I'm going to keep the stand mixer there. So yeah, just going through that again. But yeah, this is the one that I land on here from Realm of Magic. Even though I'm gonna switch multiple times, but that's where we're gonna land. And I'm also gonna use that same tile in the bathroom. So skipping the bathroom, we're gonna move right on along to our bedroom. Just like the living room and just like the kitchen, I had a hard time picking tile or picking a wallpaper for this one as well. I'm gonna go through a few before I decide which one I want to land on. And this time I didn't even cut anything out. I just left all of my indecisiveness in so you can see how it goes. So for this one, I was having a hard time finding a wallpaper that used that same green trim for the bedroom, just so that the whole house looked cohesive. I probably could have, went with the mind that, okay, yeah, it's going to be white in the bedroom just because they painted or did a slight renovation, but it looks no different than the rest of the house. So um, with that being said, I just went and updated the wallpaper in the living room to kind of have that darker trim. Then that way, it made the most sense to me to have dark trim in the whole house. So, with that being said, we are moving on to the bedroom. So, I knew I wanted to use this bed from Cottage Living. So now here I am just going through trying to find some curtains that match it. And then I'm also putting a light switch in here because I want to start using those items. So I put a light switch in everywhere in this house that I thought, maybe would need a light switch. But majority of the things in this bedroom are going to come from Cottage Living. Everything in here right now is from Cottage Living, except the rug. I believe that's from Cats and Dogs, maybe. Um, so yeah, I wanted to put some a shoe rack in here. And now I'm just looking for some art to fill the walls. Decided to go back into the kitchen and put those apples and pears, put that artwork in there. And so now I'm just trying to find a bigger collage or something bigger that can go on this long wall here because I couldn't think of anything else to put in here without making it too crowded. And then we're also going to put that painting. I believe it's from the base game. It's just like a landscape, a painting of a landscape. Um, Also going to get this fiddle leaf tree. Is that what it's called? But I like using that tree. So we're going to place that in the corner just to take up some space. And then I'm also finding some clutter to go on the nightstands. So on grandma's side, we're going to put an open book and some glasses. And then for grandpa, he has like some receipts, paper, and change bowl, stuff like that. So on the dresser, I just put some perfume and colognes up there. I thought about putting a clock on the nightstand, but I went ahead and I put it on the wall instead. And that was pretty much it for the bedroom. So now we're moving on to the bathroom in here. I'm going to use a stand-up shower. And then this freestanding sink as well with the toilet. I wanted to use that kind of older looking toilet, but I just didn't like the coloring on it. And then I didn't want to use an overhead light in here. I just wanted to use like a wall light, but I couldn't really find anything that gave off enough light for me. So I can't remember what I landed on, but it's gonna be something. And then I thought about getting some lamps for these side tables, which I grabbed these and I thought they were really cute. Then I just decided to use the same little chandelier that I've been using for the entire home in the bathroom. So now we're just getting a mirror, and then we're going to get some clutter for the sink. And I don't know what's next. We're gonna see together. I will say this portion of the voiceover, like since we started doing the bedroom, I am recording this maybe 3 weeks after I did everything else. So I don't really remember. I should have watched the footage back before I started the voiceover, but I forgot I had this in the vault and I really want to get it out because I know it's been some time since I posted a video. But don't worry, right after I finish this voiceover, I'm also going to work on another build so that I don't leave you guys hanging for so long like I just did. I do remember this. So I went in there and I changed the windows just so that the side of the house didn't look too weird for the bathroom and the kitchen. Um, so I did that, finished up the bathroom with some clutter, and now we're just going to move on to landscaping. Um, in the beginning, I don't want to say I struggled. I just didn't really know what to do, but I just used some of the same plants that I saw lying around in the world. These low-lying flowers I always use. So that's kind of like my go-to landscaping. I always put them around trees. I didn't want to put any yard, I didn't want to forget to put any yard lights or anything like that. So I went ahead and put that in here. Um, yeah, so right here over to the side, we're gonna make like a small little outdoor patio area, if you will. I don't remember what I took out and what I left in, but I know placement kind of took me a long time to like come together. And then I didn't know if I wanted to fence it in or not, but we are going to grab a fence, and I think that just sets like the whole build off. So I went ahead and I put a couple of planters in this build for grandma. You know, maybe she likes to plant flowers or maybe basil or different kind of herbs that she likes to use in the kitchen. So I went ahead and placed those. And then I also got that sprinkler from Seasons to help her water those plants. And we are doing terrain paint right now. At this point, I still wasn't sure on if I wanted to put a fence in or not. So I did the full terrain paint. Then I was like, let's go ahead and put a fence in there. So then I had to delete the terrain paint so that I could make, you know, that pathway that we made line up to the gate because I do have a gate there. So yeah, so now we're redoing the terrain paint once again. And then I'm going to just, you know, switch some stuff around, and then we're going to move a couple of trees because I think I realized it was clipping. But at this point, we're nearing the end. I'm just going to do some final touches and then we can go and do the tour of this build. Okay, friends, so here we are spawned into the game so we can take a tour of the build that we just did. I think I say this every time, but I really like the way this turned out. I'm not gonna go like talk about what everything is because I mean you can see I'm trying to make these videos, I guess, a little bit better for you guys. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyways, this is the outside. I really like how it turned out. I think I just said that, but oh well. So here, I didn't show this in the video, but I went ahead and I put a chess table out here because I realized they really didn't have any skill building items in here. So yeah, I just went ahead and put that. Take the grid off. So coming inside, you come through the front door, you're met with the living room. So there's that. I probably should have put something on this table, but it's okay. So here's our little dining room area, and then a little entryway section. So like how that turned out. Then you go through this archway, and then we're met with our kitchen. So yeah, I kind of try to do some different things in here. I use a different swatch of this stainless steel set that I hardly ever use. This is a hot cocoa tray. We got the stand mixer in here. Again, this is for some grandparents, so maybe grandma likes to bake. So again, through this other awning or archway, we have a little small hallway. So if you go in here, you are in the one and only bathroom. So yeah, I like how this came out. I kind of struggled a little bit with the tile in here as well as in the kitchen area, but I kind of like, I do like how it came out in the end. So again, in this hallway, and then here we are in the only bedroom that we have. So again, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, shotgun style home. So yeah, here is grandma and grandpa's bedroom. So yeah, that is it for today's build. So meet me back here so we can close off the video. And that's a wrap for today's video, guys. You can find this build on the gallery under my EA ID, which is SirenaSimsYT. Check the description box down below for the spelling and the lot details, as well as any other additional information that you may want to know. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. We're friends now, okay? So don't be shy. All right, that's all I have for today. I'll catch you in the next one. Toodles!